What's good, everyone, and welcome back. Let me take y'all on a crazy story with me, a crazy ride, story time. Take you back about a month ago when I was on Buy making some large purchases for Pokemon. So if you don't know what Buy is, it's a Japanese proxy service, basically a third party that will send products to you from Japan, and you can buy a plethora of different products. Now, before we get into this video, I have bought a lot from Buy. And I will say that 99% of all of my experiences have been phenomenal, right? And I mean from A to Z, basically fast shipping. The products were as described, everything was spot on. But this is going to be a crazy story, and I am very, very upset. So I would love to share all of this with you, and also just to give a lot of people awareness out there to be cautious and to be careful. And sometimes you just don't know what you're going to receive. So let's go ahead and get into it. So right now on Buy, what we're looking at is a Japanese 1996 No Rarity Charizard, right? So this was actually on Yahoo Japan auctions. I utilized this service for the first time on Buy, actually using an auction. So if you've never used this, it's a little bit weird because you can only go up to a certain amount. I believe it's like 300,000 yen. And then you have to reach out to Buy and you have to request an increase. So that way, if you don't do that in advance and the auction is almost over, you may get sniped. And that works out for very, very expensive products because, of course, a lot of stuff doesn't go over that price range. So 300,000 yen is roughly, $2,244. That's what it says right here. So in order to use this site, you have to beat your brain and do a lot of translation in order to find what you want. And when I came across this, I'm telling you, I was amazed. I looked at all of the photos. So let me go ahead and key y'all in so you can get a look at it, right? So of course, this auction started off on 24 October, ended in 3 days. Now, early finish, yes. It said item condition, no obvious damages or dirt. Bidder rating restriction, no. And shipping paid by the seller. Now, when you look over here from the seller and you look at the good and bad, you probably can't see it because my picture's in the way, but basically they have 7 good ratings, so 100% and 0 bad. So right here is telling me they don't have a lot of sales, but they're a good seller. So then I start looking at this Charizard. Let's go ahead and bring up some of the photos. So as you can see, it is pristine. Now, the translation for the description also says it's near mint. This guy pulled this out, 20 some years ago, packed fresh, put it in his closet, stored it away, and it was still a very high price. So of course, as a raw card and on an auction from Japan, you would think that you could get this for a good deal, even though it's still very pricey. Let's go ahead and look at some more photos of it. So then we start looking at the corners. We notice that we don't see any whitening. We don't see any damage. We might see the smallest white nick on this card. And if you know anything about the No Rarity number 006 Charizard, you know that this is an absolute grail. A few months ago, a PSA 10 actually sold for over $200,000. So if you want a PSA 9, which is also very rare, it is going to cost you probably anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. So very, very high. Now looking at these photos, right, you don't see nothing wrong with this card, which shows me from the photos that this is possibly a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. I don't see any issues with this card. If you see anything, drop a comment, let me know what you see. Now, as we get closer to the auction ending, I won. As you can see right here, it says you won the auction. So I was stoked. I was excited. I just won myself a No Rarity Charizard directly from Japan in immaculate condition. I've had tons of great buys on Buy with no issues, and everything came in. All of the cards, a lot of them been graded. They got PSA 10s, and I had a really good feeling about Buy. So let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit, right? So let me take you back to yesterday. So over here in Germany, yesterday, I don't know about you, it was November 28th. I had a package come in from Buy. Finally, my Charizard has come in, right? So I go and I pick this box up, and I go and I pick it up from the post office, bring it home in this nice little well-packaged box. Had a lot of wrapping inside of it. I opened it up, and when I fully opened up the Charizard, let me go ahead and zoom y'all in so you can see a better photo shot, okay? So when I opened everything up, I got the Charizard, I pulled it out. Everything looked great, right? He put it in this little screw down case. The packaging was on par. And then I got some up close shots of it. You're probably not going to see it very, very well. But the point is, let me go ahead and pull this out for you so that way y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me pull it out of the screw case. But anyways, what I'm going to share with you really, really upset me. Because after looking at this card up close, it was nowhere near in the condition that showed on BuyE. So as you look at this card, let me see if I can get it zoomed in on the camera. As you look at this card up close, you can see a lot of whitening and you can see a lot of damage. You can also see that the centering is very, very bad, right? So right to left is very, very poor. And there's a lot of issues, and you really can't see it in the camera, but there's a lot of hollow scratches. There's just scratches all around the card. And as I turn the card around, let's go ahead and take a look at the back. Now, when you look at the back, it's also kind of hard to see, but let me try to go ahead and zoom you in just a little bit. You see all that whitening up there at the top, and you also see a lot of whitening and, you know, corner dings down here at the bottom. So what that showed me is that, one, the pictures were false, right? The pictures were false. The card was not in the condition the person said it was. So when I looked back at it, I told myself, you know, maybe the photos were actually very, very bright, so it was hard to see the whitening on the card. So that wasn't the issue, right? The more I looked at this card, I realized that I don't believe this card was the same card, right? And I wasn't paying attention to the rarity symbol at the bottom because, mind you, right, the No Rarity Charizard has no rarity symbol, and that's what makes it really rare versus the more common one that has the rarity symbol at the bottom. That's the big distinguisher, right? There's one that's very pricey and rare, and there's one that's less rare and less pricey. And that's the no rarity that just goes up in value. So I didn't pay attention to the star because right now I'm just super pissed that I thought I had a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. And then looking at the card, I really feel like I potentially have a PSA 3 or a PSA 4, which is still not bad. Because let me go ahead and take you over to eBay right quick. So as we're looking at eBay, if you look at some of the no rarity raw prices, a raw No Rarity Charizard is still going to run you about $2,000. So even if it grades a PSA 3, it's probably going to be about $3,000. You see a 7 for like $8,000. A 3 right here is actually $2,000, excuse me. But I did see a 5, which was like 4 or 5,000. They jump all over the place, right? You have a 3 right here for $5,200. So either way, what I was gathering in my mind and trying to calm myself down before I was catastrophizing is that if I grade this card and it gets a 3 to a 5, even though very low, it's still going to be, you know, a 200 to 300% profit on this card. So still worth thousands more than what I paid for it. So the next day when I wake up, I go to post this card on Instagram, right? And I'm still not paying attention to the bottom because the no rarity and the rarity look the exact same except for the rarity symbol. And as I'm typing it, because I'm still excited I have this card, right? It's in my collection and it's still worth a lot of money. I go to post it on Instagram, and right before I hit send, the one thing that pops out at me is the bottom right corner. And you know what I saw in that bottom right corner? I seen a star. So then I realized the centering was off. The card was damaged, and this piece of shit sent me a rarity Charizard. So it wasn't the card I ordered. So now I have to go back through the BuyE resolution process, which is incredibly difficult. I've never had to do this. I know some people have talked about it, like on Reddit, that they've done it, and it's very difficult because you have a proxy service who has to get in contact with the seller, and they have different insurance options where they can check and see if it's counterfeit for you and stuff like that, which I don't think I paid for. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to run into an issue with this service in Japan, in a whole nother country, that I have to dispute to get my money back. And it's very difficult. But the good news is, if you use BuyE, right, I highly recommend, and I will update you on the process because I am going to get my money back. Because if BuyE doesn't work out, you know, I also have PayPal on file, and I use my American Express through my PayPal. So I have at least 3 options to go through: PayPal, BuyE, and American Express to try to hopefully get my money back. But it's crazy how you can spend thousands of dollars and just get scammed like that. And I really thought a lot of people, a lot of sellers in Japan was very honest. And now I'm starting to realize that not everybody is an honest person. So you have to be careful. This is really not something that you could have mitigated. This is not something I could have stopped. I looked at all of the photos. I looked at them very well. I looked at the seller feedback. I looked at, the person's story about the card. Everything seemed to have checked out. And what do you know? They sent me the wrong card. And deep down in my brain, as a good person, I still want to believe that it was an accident. But 100% of me knows that this person tried to rip me off. So this is for all of you out there, right? Just be very cautious, be very careful. That's with anybody, any store, any person. Make sure that you have protections when you buy something, because no matter how good the deal seems, sometimes when it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So let me know what y'all think about this. I know a lot of people want to eat me alive and say, hey, you made a dumb decision. But I mean, hey, what can I say, man? It was a no rarity Charizard. It's really expensive, really beautiful. And I really wish I got the right card. But hopefully I get my money back. I'll keep y'all updated on this. Thanks for tuning in. I love each and every one of you. And I'll be back soon with another video. And I'll see y'all later. Out.